Hey everyone, welcome to the TheWokeVC podcast. We have discussed about this new strategy on B2C2B, and we have touched briefly upon how it works, what are the basic principles. Today we are going to be talking about how it specifically reduces your customer acquisition cost. So if we go by this strategy, what are the advantages? What are the corners or what are the portions where you get the most benefit out of it, and adding on the layer of our avatars and personas, how they can also add a bit more in the reduction of the customer acquisition cost. So Amit, let's start with the first premise or the first basis. So when you're bootstrapping or when you're starting, you have, let's say, a bit of one or two B2B clients. So you're catering them, and parallelly you're building a B2C app, or a platform which goes directly to customers. Now this is the situation, and if we want to leverage both the channels, how do we go about it? How do we start?
Yeah, I think the first step is to decide what you want to be, right? So do you want to be a B2B company that also has a B2C arm? Or do you want to be a B2C company that has a B2B arm?
Yeah.
Right?
Two things.
Do you want to be a company that provides infrastructure services so that people can build their own Twitter type experience, let's say, which is a B2B? Or do you want to be Twitter that allows others to build Twitter-like experiences, where Twitter is a B2C app, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you could do it either way. It depends on what you want to do. Right. Now, you don't have to tell everybody, if you don't want to in the beginning, that you want to be a Twitter or a B2C app that, eventually has ambitions to, do its own B2C. You could just say, I'm a B2B app, which is doing things like letting people build their own Twitters. Right. That's what you do. You do provide that as a service. And it's not so important that one of the many clients happens to be building the Twitter part that you own.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. One of the clients.
So in other words, you eat your own dog food. Right. So if you're building an infrastructure company to launch a type of Twitter for an enterprise, but you don't do that for your own enterprise, or you don't drive your own experience of that, or those things, then you're a B2B company, no ambition to be a B2C company. And that's totally fine too. To the degree that somebody who does have a B2C arm and does want to directly leverage their own tech the best possible way to get the best possible outcome, to also help, by the way, all their other clients who presumably, if you're in a B2C space, you're happy to work with every B2C, opportunity out there, right? Like, to grow your B2C network, you need to, pull in marketing and, partnerships and 1,000 things. So if you do have something like this, then in any case, many brands would want to show up wherever it makes sense for those brands to show up. It could be on Twitter, it could be on Facebook, it could be on LinkedIn, it could be on multiple Twitters that are powered by this now, right? For example, I'm using that word Twitter as a, B2C holding, word, right? So anything really. So so that's what you got to decide first, right? Like, what is it that you're building, right? If you want to build something that's really worthy and everyone should use it, and you want to build a, big consumer brand, then you're going to consumer. I mean, you're trying to build a consumer brand. But how do you build the consumer brand? The process of building this consumer brand can take many forms, right? You could see how Twitter did it and Facebook did it and so many other people did it. They went direct. They just did it, right? There's no major B2B strategy involved there. But you could do a B2B strategy where it becomes less risky to the degree that you get 2-3 paid clients. You now have more or less, taken the risk out of the system. Now you're not relying on some, crazy growth hacks or some dump money into it to grow numbers and hope that somebody buys you, or whatever that game that people play. That's not what we're playing here. We're playing value, right? So if you're going to build for 10 companies as enterprise clients, you're going to build 10 Twitter values, mini Twitter values for them. And all of them, by the way, are B2C companies, right? Twitter is a B2C offering. So B2B to C. So they're all building B2C offerings. They've got, let's say, millions of people each, and there's a lot of cross-pollination, obviously. One would imagine that by driving your own, you increase and lift everyone's boats.
Yeah.
Because they're there for some outcome, right? Whatever that outcome is, whether it's increased sales, increased branding, increased whatever, you're helping them do that and sharing the results from that with them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So and of course, like when and then since you have other clients and there is a cross pollination, it becomes comparatively less sort of costly to, or less resource intensive to actually build the B2C branch, because you have cross pollination already going in. There are your B2B customers that are eventually doing B2C. So you already have you have already acquired a few customers, and you're on survival. You have ensured your survival as well.
Correct. So this is a very practical way to build out companies. First of all, everybody knows B2B is smarter than B2C in the sense that, certain risk parameters and whatever.
Yeah.
Now, why don't we take the best of both? You want to build B2C. We all know B2B is better. So why not use that B2B, that first B should be your business, whatever you're building. Now, it happens to be a B2C or a B2B. It has both, whichever way you prioritize that or whichever way you position that, but it does have both. And so now you're a B2B company.
Yeah.
Right? So it's almost like one B2B company that has a full plan and a blueprint and maybe even traction to some degree, is offering their full product as a enterprise offering to launch for other people to can launch it, right? So now you have B2C offering, and you have a B2C company offering itself as a business offering to another business. So it's a B2B in that sense. And now you've got a lower customer acquisition cost because you get all those customers from the enterprise client straight away.
Yeah. And adding on to the layer of avatars and persona, that would further bring down the acquisition cost, because they are not only buying, they're also advocating. They're like advocating for you, advocating for your other clients. Overall, as an ecosystem, it becomes much more prosperous when you have people who not only consume but also advocate about it or market about their experiences or whatever they have shared or experienced using your product. So adding that layer would further bring it down. But it also increases the success rate or success chance of the other B2B clients. Let's say we have a few avatars or influencers on the B2C arm directly for the platform or for your own business. So how does this also impact the other B2B clients?
See, everyone gets a benefit from the ultimate consumers, that they're all courting. There's only, few billion, all of us are consumers, right? We're all consumers across all platforms. So when people say B2C, the C is us, you and me, right? There's no other C. So would we, if we are on one of these Twitter-like, enterprise offerings, would we find value in other ones? Probably, depending on if they match my interest and, whatever, right? If whatever I'm doing, it's an extension, right? It's an ecosystem. It's more of the same. It's more of slightly different, whatever that is. So the next question is, how do I discover this? Is it just push marketing to me, constantly spamming me, or is it I'm discovering through friends and family and influencers? And if I am discovering through that, and we have a mechanism, the co-seller protocol, to have these people earn money from these, introductions and from sharing, then everybody does that, right? All of us do it, you do it, I do it, we all earn money. And now you want to make it professional. You want to make it I want to do this all day long. You can become a real full-time entrepreneur, influencer if you want, become a creator, right? Make these videos, etc. And that's cool. You put your own name there and your own image there, and you are putting yourself out there, which is great. Or you can also create, just like an agency does, and manages for other people's personalities and celebs, how they manage their online presence and their brand. You can create your own persona for a certain vertical, let's say, or interest group, someone who's, you may not be into fitness as much as, or travel or magic as much as some client is, because that's their business. And we can create a unique, fully relevant persona, right? That matches that exact, characteristics of that target group or that particular profile. And now you can run that profile. You can run this persona on the internet in terms of like them acting and feeling to others as if they're real people, which is opinions and experiences being shared and this and that, and value being created. And when people follow that because of the value being created, this persona starts to earn money. And this is a programmatic artifact. I mean, this is a real, it's a piece of your business. It's a business on its own, actually. Right? It's a P&L.
Yeah, it's a business on. It's it's a business on its own. It has its own, inputs going in, outputs coming out, how much, content shared, experience shared, and then how much you got return out of that, and that entire, as you mentioned, business. Cool.
Yes.
So, wow, that's an amazing take from combining our two things, the B2C2B approach as well as the avatars and personas, and you combine them, then you got a rock solid ecosystem which sort of launches you into a market at a much more better speed, as well as pretty profitable from the start, from get go. You're bootstrap. You're not dependent on any external money or any extra input in your business, and that's sort of an ideal situation everybody wants to be in. Whoever launches a business or whoever is in a business, this is where everybody wants to reach, that it's self-sustained and it's growing.
Correct. So by thinking through comprehensively B2C and B2B, deciding how you want to approach the complete market opportunity, where you see this 5 years, 10 years down the line, can there be a bootstrap or a growth hack or a trick somehow that shrinks it from 5 to 10 years to 2 to 3 years? Can there be approaches that are almost standardized that make this possible? And I think the answer is yes. It's just a machine.
Yeah. It is amazing. Thanks, Amit. Thanks so much. This is such an insightful conversations on business, and we'll keep them coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.